Today, we'll explore Meta's darkest secrets, breaking down the lawsuits, the scandals, and what it means for the future of social media. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of how one of the world's most powerful companies is grappling with charges that could change everything. Meta's journey began in 2004, when a Harvard student named Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. What started as a college networking site soon grew into the social media giant we know today. With billions of users across platforms like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. In 2021, Zuckerberg announced a new direction for the company Meta. With dreams of building a virtual world, Meta would go beyond social media, but the dark side of its old platforms was never far behind. Recent lawsuits have revealed a disturbing trend on Meta's platforms. Parents managing accounts for their children were allegedly using Instagram subscription tools to sell revealing photos and content of their kids to adult men. And even worse, Meta's own algorithms were pushing these accounts to potential predators. While the content didn't technically include nudity, it raised major concerns about exploitation. Employees at Meta flagged these issues, but according to reports, the company failed to act, allowing this harmful content to spread. These lawsuits are significant because they're not just going after Meta for negligence, they're saying the company actively promoted content that could be harmful to children, all for profit. But the question many are asking is this: how much did Mark Zuckerberg know? While Zuckerberg is no stranger to lawsuits, these latest cases strike at the core of his leadership at Meta. In court, Zuckerberg has argued that he cannot be held personally liable for the actions of Meta's platforms. He and his legal team are pushing back against claims that the addictive nature of these apps, and their harmful content, was something he directly controlled. If the court sides with Zuckerberg, it could set a precedent that shields tech CEOs from personal liability. However, if they don't, this could open the door to more cases targeting tech leaders directly.
The Cambridge Analytica's research project was actually for targeted psychographic political campaign work.
Congresswoman, it might be useful to clarify what actually happened here.
Well, no, I don't have time for a long answer, though. When did Facebook learn that? And when you learned it, did you contact their CEO immediately? And if not, why not?
Congresswoman, yes. When we learned in 2015 that a Cambridge University researcher associated with the academic institution that built an app that people chose to share.
We know what
their data
happened with them, but I'm asking you.
Yes, I'm answering your question.
Right.
And what kind of policy, regulatory environment would you want instead of managing maybe a Fortune 500 company if you were launching a startup to take on the big guy?
On your point about regulation, the internet is growing in importance around the world in people's
But the problem
lives.
with Meta is that these effects were known, and yet the platform continued to operate in a way that prioritized engagement over well-being. So what happens next? Meta isn't the only tech company under fire. With growing calls for regulation, we could see the social media landscape change in ways we've never seen before. Governments around the world are starting to crack down on how these platforms operate, particularly when it comes to user safety and content moderation. If Meta loses these lawsuits, we could see sweeping changes in how companies are held accountable for what happens on their platforms. For Zuckerberg and Meta, the stakes have never been higher. These legal battles could reshape the future of social media, forcing platforms to prioritize safety over profit. As the dust settles from these court cases, one thing is clear: the era of unregulated social media may be coming to an end. Whether or not Zuckerberg is held personally accountable, Meta's practices are under more scrutiny than ever. And while Meta continues to evolve, it's up to us as users to stay informed, demand better, and hold companies accountable for the impact they have on society. If you found this video informative, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover everything from tech scandals to the latest innovations in the industry. And if you have any thoughts or questions, drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going.